This is part number 2 of our Spanish pronunciation guide. Many of the consonants in Spanish sound similar to their English equivalents. Pay attention throughout this course to spot subtle differences that you can incorporate into your Spanish speaking skill set. In this video, we will focus on the consonants that are the most different and that need a special attention before we start learning new words. Let's start with our first consonant, H. This letter is always silent. Hola. Hola. Our next consonant is J. This letter sounds like the English H. Junio. Junio. Our next letter is G. This letter has two sounds, a strong sound and a weak sound. The G has a strong sound whenever it is followed by an A, an O, or a U, and it has a weak sound when it's followed by an E or an I. The strong G sounds like the G in go. Some examples are gato, gorila, gusano. The weak G sounds like the English H, and some examples are gente, gigante. In Spanish, to get a strong G sound with the vowels E or I, we need to add a silent U in between them, as we saw in the previous video. Some examples are guerra, guitarra. The following is the extra letter found in the Spanish alphabet, ñ. It sounds similar to the NY in canyon. Niño, niño. Our next consonant is Y. It sounds like a softer version of the letter J in English. Yo, yo. The Y sounds just like the double L in Spanish. Both sound like a softer version of the letter J in English. Some examples are llave, yuca. Our next consonant is the R, called R in Spanish. The R has two sounds just like the G, a strong sound and a weak sound. The strong sound has a rolled R sound, much like the stereotypical R Spanish sound that we would expect, and it's always the first letter of a word. An example would be rosa, rosa. The weak R sounds like the double D in ladder. An example is cara. Cara. For words that have a strong R sound that is not at the beginning of a word, we use the double R, which has also a rolled R sound. An example would be carro. Carro. Our next letter is zeta. It sounds like the English S. In fact, both the Z and the S in Spanish sound just like the English S. Some examples are zona and sol. Our next letter is B corta. In Latin America, both the V and the B sound like the B in baby. Some examples are vaca and beso.